Chicago, you need to stop lying and saying, and people on this internet need to stop lying and saying that they're coming for black people. Yes, there was a building in a black community that was not majority black because it had been overran by illegal gang bangers. Let's be clear. So why everybody want to keep throwing that narrative around half of South Shore is fucking invaded by illegals. That's the truth. So don't get on here saying black people are being came for. They're coming because they're in our neighborhoods and our communities. That's why. So yes, they're going to go in buildings where black people live and sleep because they put them in buildings where black people live and sleep. South Shore, born and raised. I know what I'm talking about. Stop pushing that narrative because it's not correct.
All right, y'all. At this point, y'all have really pissed me off, especially you so-called influencers who are taking parts of stories coming out of Chicago and using it for fucking clickbait and engagement. Now, I have been urging my people here to pause so that they can process things. Y'all talking about them coming down on that building out south. Whole time, that building used to be predominantly black. That building was predominantly Venezuelans, okay? There are people from that neighborhood that have been complaining about that building for a year, okay?
So now that the Trump administration, because again, this is another example of how Chicago leadership has failed them, from the alderman to the mayor, all the way up until Illinois governor, they have failed y'all. So now that the Trump administration is actually fixing things inside of y'all community, because the building that y'all have been complaining about for well over a year, which Brandon Johnson is the one that embraced illegal migrants and integrated them into y'all community, while at the same time not necessarily helping black people at all. Finally, you get somebody, because they haven't even deployed the National Guard or anything yet, but you get somebody that actually does something inside of the community and get some illegal Venezuelan migrants up out of there and deport them, because these are not the people that you want in your community that's doing the great thing. And now you have other black people that are going out here and saying, well, no, they coming for black people. I told y'all they was going to come for y'all. Ain't nobody coming for no American citizen in the United States of America. It's a lie. It's being promoted by Democrats. It's being promoted by Chicago leadership. It's being promoted by pro-black people. And this is why I say that y'all need to get off of the Democratic plantation, because they ruining y'all lives. They've created a problem for you that wasn't best for you by having people in your community and designating dollars, hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, still to help them. And these people are not supposed to be here. Most of them that are in y'all communities, destroying y'all communities, because they're going to sell y'all a narrative and act like, well, no, these are just law-abiding citizens, while they over there marching and destroying and tearing up and being tyranny and all of this other stuff. Now you have a president that said, yo, we need to clean it up and we need to get it down to its core. Its core. Get people up out of there. And so it just so happened to be a building in a predominantly black neighborhood. And now you got people that are making videos that's trying to act like the Trump administration is seizing upon them. This is why the Democrat plantation is dangerous.
Okay, they showed y'all broken windows and shit that were already there. These are the things that y'all have to stop doing. And this is why I keep telling people here in the city, particularly black people, pause so you can process. If y'all start responding to shit out of emotion, then you don't know what the fucking play is, because you haven't had time to actually think. What people are doing are trying to get a rise out of black Chicagoans. Okay, that was one incident. Then you had the guy out west that had the accident, and they pulled him out, and one of the agents was choking him, and people were recording it. Okay, so again, follow-ups to all of these things, never. Nobody ever comes back with the follow-up. They talking about, oh, they're arresting black people in Chicago. All of the black people that they took from that building on the south side were released. The 37 people that they detained were all Venezuelans who were part of a particular gang. Y'all gotta stop doing that shit. Y'all are really making me mad with this, okay? Especially for those people who don't live here, but you want to use these fucking stories as a way to get some engagement. Slow pause, bro. I'd hate to get into it with some of y'all because I've seen some of y'all so-called influencers using this shit as a way for y'all to get attention and likes. Yes, this is a very serious issue, but I also want y'all to understand that there's never been a time that Black Chicagoans have not been under pressure. There's never been a time that we've not been fighting. So what are you talking about? Y'all want us to get so emotional that motherfuckers get on the front lines of something. No. You have to step back and pay attention first and foremost here. We know how to pay attention to things that's going on around us, okay? And y'all want people to get so upset that we go out into the streets and then some shit really happen? Black Chicagoans, fuck all them people that's talking crazy on this internet, especially if they asses ain't from here. Y'all sit the fuck down, pull back, because you have to be able to process what is going on. If you go out there on some emotional shit, that's how things get twisted. That's how shit get fucked up, because you're not thinking logically. I really need y'all to understand that this is not us against migrants. This is not us against anybody that they are here trying to detain. This is about us being a sanctuary city and our mayor and our governor pushing back on to stop posting about what's happening right now and not adding the fact that there was shit that led up to this happening. I ain't excusing nothing that they doing, but what I'm not going to do is put my people in no burning building. We going to hear me out. Be patient. I'm not saying that we won't do anything. I'm not saying that they won't try anything. I am saying you cannot react.
They want ICE, the National Guards, the Trump administration to be wrong so bad that it's difficult for these people to even call out the real bad behavior that's happening within their city. This is so sad. This is so sad, bro. People don't even know what side of the fence that they own anymore because they know that their leadership is trash. But then at the same time, the people that they think that they against are the ones that's actually cleaning up their communities, and they don't know whether or not to hate them or to love them.
Off of emotion. There has to be patience. There has to be a process. There has to be a preparation. Stop letting these people gas y'all the fuck up. We ain't on that.
I refuse to allow Black people in Chicago to be co-opted to protect Venezuelan gang members.
Did you hear about the midnight raid in South Shore in Chicago? Here's what just happened and why this matters to you. Are you ready? Let's go. So last night in Chicago's South Shore, federal agents, ICE, swarmed a residential building. Did y'all hear about this? Okay. Now this was in the dark of early morning that this happened, and the operation actually left these Black folks, these residents, traumatized. Because wouldn't you be? Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Democrats are literally the dim tail, and they're always going to make sure that they entrench cartel and Venezuelan gangs and whoever inside of Black areas, so that the moment you try to get those people out, they can easily say, oh, can say they're trying to harm Black people. They racial profiled the Black people. Think about it. Chicago had a choice about where they dropped all of these illegal aliens off once they got transported here from the southern border. They had a choice, and they purposely entrenched them in areas with Black people. Do you think that was a mistake? Do you think that was an accident? It's not an accident. They want to be able to say, oh, look what happened. The federal government is targeting and racial profiling Black people. No, they're actually profiling Tren de Aragua. And I can give you some quick screenshots of multiple operations that have had to be done in Chicago, even in the last year or so, to arrest like 20, 10. Like, it's been multiple big groups of Tren de Aragua, however you say it, arrested here in Chicago because they are embedded in Chicago. So no, I refuse to play the race game that Democrats always want to play the moment they get literally discovered for doing some nasty mess. It's always, oh, look what happened to Black people. No. Look at you all getting discovered for embedding the cartel in Chicago neighborhoods. No. If anybody was improperly accosted during that raid, I have immediate questions. Did you try to impede federal officers? Because you know what I would never do as a law-abiding citizen? I'm not getting in the way of any CPD, any police departments, and I'm especially not intervening and getting in the way of any federal officer.
And you know what? Nobody wants to have the conversation about what happened afterwards. You know what I'm saying? That all of these people who were living in this building now don't have to be controlled by gang members that the actual mayor and the chief of police of Chicago never address, although y'all continue to call because they want to make sure that their numbers is down and they want to support illegal migrants. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. T. Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. You know I'm going to keep you in the loop, right?